How's it going, viewers? Thanks for tuning in again. This is Grow With Me, presented by myself, Obed, and this will be the third video of the channel. And I had a little think after the first two videos. I thought of a way to restructure the channel in a way where my videos won't be too long or confusing, and it will be beneficial to people at different stages of the topic that I'm going to talk about, which is spirituality. Of course, tightly linked to it is self-development, and mainly my passion in life is to become as spiritual as possible, and hence why because it's my passion, I can share it with you guys on my journey to growth. Anyways, let's cut to the chase. Just a brief recap. I've explained this already before. Spirituality is basically the art of mastering yourself, okay? Mastering your internal state, because that is the thing that troubles humans the most. Our advanced brain has helped us to a great extent, but it's also caused a lot of damage to ourselves and others. And so I found a beautiful definition on Google somewhere of what spirituality actually is, because a lot of people get confused in it. Well, in a nutshell, aside to what I've told you, another way to look at it is it's all about attaining or deepening a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves. And the people who usually seek spirituality are people who are trying to find a meaning in life, okay? Or another reason many people reach spirituality is simply pain relief. Why? Why this is the case? Well, many of us, including myself, are born skeptics. Our brains just do not rest until we get answers to the deepest mysteries of life, things that we don't know. And life is the biggest mystery. Our purpose, why are we here? Why do I exist? Why have I got 5 fingers and a hand and eyes and a brain and thoughts? What the hell is all this about? That's what many of us go through, since childhood, in my experience at least. And another reason why people end up being attracted to spirituality is because of the way that it transforms you to a state where you're no longer suffering from internal pain, because a lot of humans tend to be walking around with internal discomfort, subconsciously or unconsciously. Some of us are blessed with just peace of mind, but a lot of us, the vast majority of humans, are dealing with some sort of discomfort or discontent within themselves. Hence why the entertainment industry is the biggest industry, one of the biggest industries in the world, because people just want to escape. They want to escape. They go to work and come home and they just want to escape reality. So this channel it's all going to be about removing all negativity in your life. And when I talk about your life, I don't mean your life situation outside, but your life within, your sense of being, your life inside. So removing all negativity so that you can properly be yourself, because I believe it's impossible to be yourself when you are in a negative state. Just think back to the times when you were angry, upset, or annoyed, or irritated, whatever you want to call it. The behaviors that you engaged in, most of the time you ended up regretting because you weren't really yourself. And I'm not saying I'm trying to get you guys to become desensitized to your emotions. No, not at all. But on the bigger picture is to remove all negativity. And it is possible. You might be conditioned to think that it's not. Trust me, I've been there and I'm in that state right now. It is very possible. I've experienced the lows of the lows, and I've also experienced the highs of the highs internally. Okay, Anyways, let's go to the chase then. So I will be introducing, I understand many people are in different journeys in their healing processes, okay? There are beginners, there are intermediates, there are advanced people, and there are people who are ultra advanced. We're talking monk level here, where they have reached such a level within themselves where they become bulletproof. They just, nothing phases them anymore. And this might sound like a strange concept, but as the channel goes on, we will develop more into that. And then shout out to the book, my favorite book ever, The Power of Now, which I recommend everyone to read. That book completely transformed my life, and that was the beginning of everything. It was a random read that I feel lucky that I read that book, because it introduced me to concepts that I really didn't have a clue about. So yeah, in a nutshell, beginner, intermediate, advanced, and ultra advanced. Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick overrun of what I expect typically for someone to be like in each stage of their spiritual journey. You can call it that, or the healing process, or however way you want to call it. Okay, so beginner. How do I know someone is a beginner into this thing? Then this is not attack. It's okay to be a beginner at anything. Hey, I'm a beginner at YouTube. So how I categorize a beginner, I was once a beginner as well, where you're in constant pain. The moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, basically your escape is asleep. The moment you wake up, for all people who've been depressed, they know when you wake up, you forget about your problems for like 5 minutes, and to start rushing down. Reality just starts coming in. Oh my God, here we go again. And then the vicious cycle continues. How else do I know someone might be a beginner? Well, if you're walking around life and feeling purposeless, you lack meaning, you have this void within you, and your brain recognizes this void and it tries to fill it. And your brain is not very good at filling voids. It will seek instant gratification in hopes that it will fulfill you, which it doesn't. You always feel this hole in you. That's why you might need to, take some drugs, or find someone to complete you, or perhaps distract yourself in any way, form. But you're always walking around with this feeling of that there's something missing. What is this? There should be something more. That sense of feeling tells me that you might not be spiritually enlightened yet. You're a beginner, which is good. Identifying that, I think, is a success rather than a failure. And then the most important one, lack of presence. If you're constantly trapped thinking about the future and past, and you're never actually here in the present moment where life exists, I would categorize you as someone who may be a beginner in the spiritual journey or the healing process, which is okay, absolutely okay, because I'll say the vast majority of humans unfortunately live in this unpleasant state, And then I'm gonna speed up now, okay? Intermediate is all about, it's more knowledge based, okay? So you go into spirituality, you go into awareness about yourself, so your knowledge has increased, but you will quickly realize that these things are easier said and studied than done. Your knowledge has increased, but you realize you still have some old thought patterns, you still have some behavioral patterns, you still have some old emotional patterns, and you will start to see a responsibility rise for you to use the new knowledge that you've gained, the new tricks that you've gained, and the new hacks of how to control your emotions, your thoughts, etc., and start actually applying it in your day-to-day life. That transition of putting it into practice, I believe that makes someone more than a beginner, because you are unlocking a different state which is bigger than who you think you are, beyond your thoughts and emotions, etc. And it starts to become quickly rewarding. Even though you're still at intermediate, you will gain a lot of sense of peace and purpose and meaning, even though you still might have some old pains and thoughts and patterns that you still, because our brains are as habitual, our thoughts are as habitual as our physical behaviors. So it's gonna take time to switch. But at this point, you will have gained enough knowledge to start applying, and just that by the first application, the rewards start pouring in. Advanced spirituality, okay? This is where it starts to get really good. This is where your life will start to transform, your relationships, your job, your work. And trust me, this is no magic, but it's just the way you relate to the universe and your life, okay? This is when you start to become good at the things that you've learned, okay? You start to become habitual with it. You start to become good at disidentification, okay? Pain is no longer running your life at this point. It might still come and go, but you have gained, by this point, you will have accumulated enough tools to when you get caught off guard by old emotional patterns and reactions, by this point, you already have enough tools to regain presence, to get back to yourself. So you have a safe haven already being created, even though you're still in a bit of chaos. But at this point, you know, a lot of people are at this point, and I wasn't here for a while. And at this point, your life will have already changed drastically. And this is when you become advanced, spiritual in an advanced way, okay? You even feel peace on top of the pain. You know, this is what I talk about to people. Pain goes gradually, but what you need to attain as soon as possible is peace on top of the pain. And that only happens in an advanced level, in my opinion, because there is some art involved into that. But yeah, and then ultra advanced. Now, this is the blissful state. In my opinion, reaching this level of internal state, I call it success. You have succeeded in life. You have conquered the enemy within, you know? You have mastered thyself at this point. Buddhists may perhaps call this nirvana, one of my favorite words. Hindus might say you have unlocked all your chakras. There's so many ways, so many areas and avenues to reach this state. You know, some have used religion, whatnot, but at this point, you become bulletproof. You have, you know, not many people it's possible, but not many people reach this stage because for various reasons, but it's very possible. And where your life is in a constant state of joy or peace, where negativity you don't even know what that is. And this might sound like a strange concept to you. I know, I understand. And because we're so conditioned to negativity and reaction and resistance, but at this point you have reached the monk level where you become bulletproof. Your whole life, your thoughts are calibrated, where you have full sense of meaning. You don't fear death anymore, and it's hard to put in words. These things must be felt to be understood. And I will be releasing series on this channel based on these 4 levels, okay? I don't know the level that the people who are watching me are in. I would assume most of you guys are beginners, so I will be making videos based on everything that I've read, all the practical tools that I've learned as a beginner in spirituality, on understanding my mind, emotions, negativity, everything. I will be making different videos about topics related to that in different life situations and how to move yourself to the spirituality ladder. And of course, intermediate, I'll be doing the same. So stay tuned. So as I said, comment below for video suggestions. I really plead that you do. And I would assess that comment and gauge whether that comment perhaps is from someone who's a beginner or advanced or whatnot. And then, yeah, this has turned into another long video. But I guess it had to be done to introduce the new series. But starting from next week, I will start with beginner spirituality. And if I sense a question or a topic comes in my head where it's more advanced, I will act accordingly. But yeah, this is it for me today. And thank you for tuning in.